And this is a beautiful match, guys. In the top right side, we've got Africa Freaks Trap, one of the best Protoss players in the world. And he's up against Team Envy's Dongregu. We're hopping into this one a few minutes in, 3 minutes. And you might be like, Pig, what did we miss? Completely standard openings. Quick third hatch. Obviously, it got blocked on the natural, so Dongregu had to take his third hatchery over there. He's taken a rather normal hatchery over here at about 2 minutes 40, about 32 supply. Behind this, there was a Zergling trying to sneak in, but the Adept did not let it get inside the base. And it is just an Oracle opening. So he's going Oracle first, is Trap into Void Ray, which of course will rally over here to clean up this Overlord. Now, Dongregu is still trying to figure out exactly what's going on. He's coming forward. He's like, oh, I think it's Stargate, but I don't know for sure. He's going to try and surround an Adept, which is a cute idea, but good micro from Trap. Look at this. Trap killing a few of these Lings and barely gets the Adept back to safety. Very well done. Meanwhile, an Oracle coming in, and DRG doesn't have an Overlord down here. Uh-oh. Oracle's going to get at least 3 or 4 kills. Very nicely done. Gets 3, makes it 4. Grabs a 5th one on the way out. Oh, not bad. Does take a bit of extra damage there. Now, the mistake Trap made is he let the Oracle stop accelerating. When the Oracle comes to a full halt, you're going to notice it's very slow to start moving again. Keep an eye on it when it starts moving, and we'll try to catch a glimpse of that. You're going to see it starts up very slowly, but once it's moving, it just keeps moving fast. And you can actually... It can shoot while it's still gliding. So if you tell it to attack something and it's moving, it'll glide. But if you don't quickly give it another move command, because it attacks super fast, it's going to come to a complete halt. See there? And now it's at full speed. And then it kind of decelerates as well towards the target. So you've got to keep it moving in between shots, and then you can actually basically shoot while it's at pretty much full speed the whole time. And that's the most effective way to micro the Oracle. Trap did a little bit of a lazy one, where he kind of just shift-clicked the drones and then realized, ah, crap, I've got to get it moving again. Look at this. Once again, does the same thing. He let it stop there. So that was not perfect Oracle micro from him. Not the worst micro, but oh, he loses a Void Ray. That's really bad for Trap. Dongregu getting very happy with that. He's going for the lair now. Dongregu's been pretty greedy, guys. He's just started the Roach Warren at 5:12. That's so late. A 5-minute 10 Roach Warren is so late. Little does he know, guys, mass Adepts coming in. Glaives is almost finished. 7 Adepts are going to be coming out. Trap is going to be shading 4 more behind it. 11 Adepts. So 10 Adepts going across the map. 1 staying on guard duty in the wall. And he might warp in even another 4 behind that. The Roach Warren cannot even be built right now. All he's got is 14 Zerglings and 6 Queens. He's trying to build Roaches. Wait, this is a second Roach Warren? He already had a Roach Warren. What the fudge? He's not planning to do tunneling claws, is he? I doubt it. I think he just accidentally screwed up, guys. Double Roach Warren mistake there for Mr. Dongregu. Now, it's lucky he does have 7 Roaches popping, but there's only 1 or 2 out. Zerglings are going to kill 1 of these Adepts, but then they evaporate. Adepts so good at taking out Zerglings. These drones trying to do a runner there as the Adepts desperately hunting them down. They know they're on a timer. The Roaches and Queens will clean this up eventually, but they utilize that shade to bounce to another base, and this is a lot of damage. 11 workers coming in. You can see DRG is going back to worker production in his production tab because he knows he's taking so much damage. And the Adepts do shade on out. Look at that, though. 12 workers lost mining time. And behind it, Trap says, guess what? Me third is almost fully saturated. I'm going into Sentry, Stalker, Immortal, Blinken +1 are on the way. This is finding all the damage I was hoping for and more. Now, he lets just 2 Adepts finish the shade. He knew they would go down, but he says just 2 Adepts can one-shot drones, and bam, 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 trades the 2 Adepts for 4 drones. A very good trade, as these Adepts aren't the most amazing unit later on. So often you'll see the player pull them back, maybe hide them in the corner, and just shade them into the mineral lines when the Zerg's not looking. So I'd love to see Trap do that, but I think Trap has a bit of an appreciation for how weak he is against a counter push, because he's only got a handful of units. So he's using the Adepts to kind of scour the map and spot incoming pushes before they arrive. And DRG is, of course, a very strong ZvP player, but he's a little behind the curve in this one, and Trap is one of the best PvZs in the world, regularly giving big troubles to the likes of Sarul and Raynor, often dismantling the Darks and the Rogues of this world. DRG, though, I would say his strength is in early game greed. If he gets away with it, if he's behind like this, on paper I'd say he doesn't have much of a chance, but we'll see what he can do. It's a big push coming. And he's already got 9 Ravagers morphing. Big response here to defend this push. He wants to keep this 4th base alive. He knows if he loses that, he's in trouble. Now, I think great respect from Trap. He saw the Ravager morph with the Revelation, and he's just said, okay, drop a second Robo, make a Robo Bay. I'm still going to threaten, but dude, like, you actually have far too much creep spread. This is really annoying. Let's just clear the creep up. I don't want to get surrounded on this creep. It's kind of dangerous. Can always force field off one of these choke points. Zergling's going to intercept a few of these rallying Stalkers. Army pushing in very deep. It's a lot of Ravagers. Zergling's getting some decent damage. And that Oracle on the left getting pushed back by the Queens. DRG kind of looks like he wants to take the fight because he's in that awkward position right now where he's sitting static on 67 workers. No workers on his 4th base. And against a 3-base Protoss, you want to be up a base, up half a base of workers, at least have maybe the gases going because he's trying to go Hive and Hydroden. So he wants to play a Lurker late game here. And Trap, I'm pretty sure... Oh, he's going... I was going to say, I'm pretty sure he's going to play Carriers, but he's actually going Colossus right now. Oh, very interesting. So Viagra on the way, as well as 2 Colossus being chrono boosted. These Zerglings going to get cornered. Trap just grabbing the value kills there. Says, you can't leave. Every one of them goes down. Now the other Ling's going to run on into the base, but there's already a cannon in each mineral line. So Protoss players have realized there's a lot going on in late game ZvP. Very easy to let Lings in, but if you have at least a cannon in each base, Ling run buys are just not worth much. They just don't do anything unless it's a ton of well-upgraded Zerglings. You add a warp in to back that up and it's totally fine. 3 Vipers on the way. We've got Lurker Den there as well. Now, the votes right now are massively in Trap's favor. People in the live betting in our chat are there, but we've got a couple of people who said, you know what, I've actually bet a lot on DRG. And that's because, not that I think he's favored, but the odds are just too good to pass up. And I think that's a really wise decision here. They're like, I don't think DRG is that unfavored in this matchup. Now this map, still he's stuck on a very low tier army, and oh, this aggro push from Trap, trying to bait DRG into a bad fight. DRG comes in with a pretty big surround. One of the Colossus falls. The Zerglings are getting roasted. That Colossus on the top should be going down. Where are the Biles? And man, Ravagers are just not worth their supply. When it comes to their raw stats, they are just not worth their supply. Ravagers, obviously Zergling's bad against Colossus as we saw. Ravagers just trash units for 3 supply. I mean, you've got 5 Queens, all these drones chewing up supply, and we see that if the Protoss player can just max on, or in this case he was down 20 supply, but still, down 20 supply doesn't matter. If you've got Immortals, Force Fields, Colossus, and Mass Stalker, each Stalker is 175 resources, but it's actually pretty decent-ish stats for those resources compared to a Ravager, which is it costs as much as a Muta. A Ravager is 3 supply, 100 minerals, 100 gas, and has the stats of a Roach with a little bit more range. But otherwise, Roach damage sucks. It's even worse than Stalker damage. I mean, you can see that Stalker at least does 22 damage versus Armored. The Roach does only 18 damage right now. Obviously, that is +2 versus +1, but it would only be 20 damage. But the Roach attacks once every 1.43 seconds. A Stalker attacks a little faster than that. But the Stalker also has Blink. The Stalker also has Force Fields and Colossus and all these fantastic things backing it up now. Lurkers are going to burrow there and push this army back for now. It is Turtle Mode DRG up against what is going to be Storm coming in for the Protoss. Oh my god, that is 7 Immortals. 7 Immortals and a Colossus. That is going to just destroy any Lurkers or Roaches it comes across. So yeah, I mean, he's just going to go for a big old wipe. Now, people often say, how do you beat Lurkers? And I always say, well, you know, if you've got a bit of momentum, a bit of control, just Mass Immortal Storm is great. Stalkers aren't very good. They're kind of shit units versus Lurkers. But if you're very good with your Stalkers, you can still run around and just fight where the Lurkers aren't, as he is, clear up map control. But if the Immortals can ever broadside the Lurkers, if they can ever catch the Lurkers out, spread in a line, and your Immortals are also spread in a battle line, like if they don't have tanky units in front of them, or if they don't have a choke point they're defending, the Lurkers will get their ass kicked by the Immortals. Oh, great Abducts, though. I do love those Abducts. Doesn't get the Blinding Clown down, though, before that feedback lands. Some Storm Landing as well. And despite some amazing Abducts to start the fight, the numbers and the upgrade advantage just looking there for Trap. Not really an upgrade advantage, but definitely a numbers advantage. GG, well played. He takes map number 1. All right, guys, going into map number 2 in the bottom left. We've got Dong Regu, or as I like to call him, Chad Regu, because he just has natural blocked. And he was like, oh, I can't take my natural. I'm going to take the gold base. Meanwhile, Trap in the bottom right here. We'll see what he has in store to punish that gold base. Trap's going to go for a second pylon in the main. I mean, honestly, I don't think you even need to do that much. I think you honestly just send adepts across the map and just try to pick off those drones there. And actually a very quick third hatchery for DRG. DRG does start Ling speed before any queens, as well as 4 Zerglings already. Interesting build order. He's just sending 1, 2, 3 drones to that gold base. He's going to start a queen on the gold immediately as well. And of course, Adept's being chrono boosted. You'll notice Trap has queued the rally point to make sure the Adept pops out on the north of the gateway. If he was super pro, he'd actually have clicked it there. So it just goes straight that way. And that'll work out as well. It'll pop out right here. See, it always tries to pop out on the side you're pointing. But if he tried to rally it just straight there, it might pop out here and then have to walk around, right? So that's why he kind of did that. Now the Adept does come out and save that probe from those 2 Zerglings. Twilight Council coming down behind this already. Zerglings coming out. DRG's all inning. DRG has taken the gold base to bait his Adepts out on the map. And now while Trap's thinking about denying the gold minerals, and he is indeed going to deny, but it's only 3 drones. And he only denies it a little bit, right? He can come back in. Will he get one? Oh, he gets 1 drone, which is not bad. But what he doesn't see is the Zerglings coming in, and that Overlord just sitting over the natural. Uh-oh. The gateway's going to start, but he can click on that gateway. That gateway's going to go down very quickly. Uh-oh. It's only got 100 hit points there. He's going to recall that Stalker back behind the wall off. The Adept's trying to shade back, but it's getting surrounded right now. So the Adept will go down very quickly. He's got to move those Zerglings into that choke point. There we go. And now he can just attack everything in the wall. He can just A-move these Zerglings, basically, and they'll just automatically attack. There's so much surface area. This is going to be nearly impossible for Trap to hold because he doesn't even have an Adept building out of that gateway. He's got 1 Stalker for damage. And how is he going to wall off? He's trying to. He doesn't have the money. He's got to cancel glaives. There's a wall. There's a hole. And he holds a goal for those Zerglings. And Trap realizing, you cheeky bugger. You take a gold and a 3rd hatch to convince me you're playing macro, and then you just do a Zergling all in by skipping queens. Well played. All right, dropping a map there to the cheesy build order. This is Trap. Now you might wonder why he chrono boosted before his pylon was finished. That's because he went for a 13 pylon. Why did he go 13 pylon? It's so that the same probe that built the pylon could go straight across this giant map and still arrive there before DRG could put the hatchery down. So he gets there very early. And because he, of course, skipped a probe early on, it meant that he was nowhere near the 15 supply cap, so he was able to chrono boost a bit before the pylon finished without actually getting supply capped. Very nice technical adjustment from Trap, who goes gateway into gas. DRG, of course, in the bottom left side, got a very cheeky win there. Is now going to take that front 3rd base, and you got to mix those all-ins against a guy like Trap. You got to keep him off balance. I think that's a very good way to upset the favorite. Will he be able to do it in the next game? Unlikely. But realistically, if we think about game 1, what got him there? Well, he was trying to be very greedy against, the macro god Trap. If his Roach Warren was a few seconds earlier, and maybe if he didn't build an extra Roach Warren, that would have helped him out as well. I also do think something we really think about, which I don't really consider, I forget to, is that versus Stargate builds, I actually really like the Roach Warren Evo Chamber. And then you just build an extra Evo Chamber to wall them out, so you only need to defend your 3rd mineral line. It seems a little unnecessary, but if you think about it, versus Stargate build, you're not really dealing with a frontal push that's going to kill a Roach Warren in your wall very early. Your Roach Warren and your Evo Chamber go down quite late anyway, so I think it's a really nice way of things happening. Chat saying they're actually really excited. I was asking chat, hey, what are you most excited for at next matches? And someone said Maru Dark. Well, that's a TSL match for next weekend on my birthday. Well, this coming weekend, I should say. Not in this tournament. Not in this weekly, unfortunately. Though I'm also very excited for Maru Dark. Seems like Maru's the favorite, but Dark can definitely bring out some godlike play. It's just that Maru's late game is on another level. Can he get there? Recently, the answer is yeah, pretty consistently. Now, why is there a drone heading out here? That was a bit of a mistake. Creep Tomb is going to spread there. 3rd base goes down. 32 supply 3rd base. He loves that 32 3rd base. So remember, guys, if you ever do that, you build a queen right afterwards and then an overlord right after that. And this is something you want to kind of sync together. If you do this sort of very standard 30, 32 supply 3rd hatchery, any matchup, right, where you started Ling speed and then you've pulled off gas, you go hatchery, queen, overlord. And you remember to stick those all together, because if you don't, I mean, you still hit a slight supply block on 36 as we saw, but it's just a small one. And then you just like drones, and then this other overlord will pop out a bit later as well. And just having that part of the build very nicely kind of organized really gives you a much more solid follow-up. Now, Trap is going to go for a very solid, safe build Void Ray both keeps you safe from all-ins, also denies scouting. He's also got a probe in the wall. Now, why does he have that probe? The reason is he's worried about DRG pulling drones. So he's like, if he pulls drones and drills through, he could kill that probe. So we'll just leave it there on duty. We can build a shield battery or whatever to wall off if we see those drones coming in. And then he says, oh, you know what? It's time to take a third base. Let's just take that same probe, build the third nexus. And it's actually not... Oh, you know what? I've talked to people about how often the third nexus goes down 350, but it goes down at 4 minutes and 5, sometimes 4 minutes 10, if they squeeze the Twilight Council out. Trap is so good at StarCraft. He both got the third down just after 350, and he's still got a Void Ray, and an Oracle, and a Twilight Council that's about to finish. So it's not the crazy fast Twilight Council, but it is indiscernible from a normal Stargate build order, especially if he queues up +1 air weapons, which DRG does not see happening just yet. But I don't think that's abnormal. I think if he really wants to sell the story, he will start +1 air weapons in a little bit. Ooh, Oracle comes in, but the queens are well positioned. Spore there, 3 queens on the natural. Drops the spore down there now. The Oracle's going to come in for a little bit of a scout. And that's a melee upgrade, guys. DRG's going melee upgrade. Ooh. And he's going to go Baneling Nest. Okay, so Glaives is 50 seconds away. Baneling Nest takes 40 seconds to finish, just over that. So I actually think, okay, does get rid of the creep. So DRG could just go for a big Queenling Bane, Queen Walkling Bane all in. I don't think he's going to though. I think he'll play macro off this. Maybe Mutas, maybe straight to Hive, go Ultras or Broodlords, Offling Bane, something like that. Probably Ultras. The thing is, Glaive Adepts are coming again. 10 Adepts, 9 moving out. He'll warp in more on that third base. He's left one in the wall there and there. He's building more Zerglings already though as DRG, so I think he realizes what he's up against. And that's very important. That's really important. Now look at this. He's going to actually break the rocks. Is Trap. Trap's going to break... No, he's not. Okay, I really thought he would break the rocks and run into this base, but he's trying to hide it till the last possible moment, but there's already mass Zerglings and Queens on the way. And DRG is definitely planning to go for a giant Queenling Bane attack, which should be plenty good to deal with these Adepts. So Zerglings are on top of the shade. There's no way Trap lets that finish. Oh my lord, he goes for it. He does get a good position. DRG needs to pull those drones away. A little slow on the drone pull. Oh, and Adepts got in the third at the same time. Ah, okay, the Banelings do get some good hits. So these 3 Adepts should go down pretty quickly. 2 of them get in the main. Only 1 survives there. The other ones do shade out of that third base. This guy grabs 2 drones before he leaves. What a dick. Well done. Adepts doing a fair bit of damage. That's 9 workers in total here. Units lost tab also in favor of the Protoss player, but it's going to get shut down, and the Zerg can walk across this map. Queens are going to kill a Void Ray. Ooh, and that's a good start to the Queen Walk. Already getting one of the only 2 air units. Now, the thing is, there's already sentries warping in, and there will be stalkers behind that. The Queenling Bane needs to get in before there is a reinforcement of these units. Now, what do we got? 4 gateways up. 4 more about to finish. He needs to warp in stalkers. The Zerglings get us around. The Oracle's going to kill a lot of them. Adepts shading on back. They need to get in range of that shield battery. Ooh, gotta keep those Adepts alive, buddy. Okay, battery does keep him alive for now. Some Banelings are gonna morph. He's gonna start trying to breach that natural wall. The Queen's coming on forward. He's gonna try and break down the Cybercore to open that wall off up. He's trying to transfuse the Baneling cocoons. Right now is DRG. That's kind of hilarious. The Banelings thinking about busting into that base. Will they get in? I don't know, man. Oh my god, they're going to just blow up the battery. Yeah, they're going to blow up the batteries. And with the batteries gone, that's a big problem. Nice force fields to keep a lot of these units alive. They are out in the open. Good force fields still hanging on. The Zerglings have opened the natural wall, but they haven't really got the big surrounds they wanted just yet. And remember, guys, there's money banking up for DRG because he's only building Lings. He's got a 4th hatchery, which helps, but he actually doesn't have Queens injecting at home right now. And that's a huge problem for your follow-up. He's still building mass Queens and continuing the push, but he's also morphing his Banelings in a position which is far too cocky, in my opinion. Now, the Queens with their mass transfusers will be a real problem for Trap to deal with. The mass Queens, just so hard to actually take out. The Zerglings trying to click on the Nexus, interestingly enough, as the Banelings. Not the best hits on those Banelings, but not the worst ones either. They just blow up on whatever they can. And it looks like DRG able to break him with the Queen +1 melee Lingbane Queen Walk. Oh my lord, Trap taken out by a big surprise tactic. GG.